You are welcome to Math Demystified.
All right, let's look at this next question. The first thing I want to check is there anything common to all of them? Yes, something is common to all of them. 3 is common to all of them. So I can bring the 3 out. It's a factor. So I'll be left with 2 here, minus, I'll be left with 5x, okay? And I'll be left with 3 here, x squared. So that's what I'll be left with. So the next thing I want to do right now is to now check the inside. You see, this inside looks like what we just finished solving. So I'll quickly check. The power of the unknown, in this case, is in ascending order, so it's properly arranged. So let's quickly do what we did just now. This multiply this to give me a plus 6x squared. All right, plus 6x squared. So what are the 2 things I can multiply to get this? That when I add together, I'm going to get the one at the center. All right. So very fast we can do it. You know, you have 6 and 6x, and you can also have another 1, which is 1x. When you multiply this, you have this. But when you add this up, you're going to have 7x. That won't work. And they can both be negative, 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 negative. So when you multiply this, you're going to have this. When you add this up, you're going to have minus 7x. It still didn't work. Okay? But I can also have 2x and have 3x. When I multiply this, I'm going to have this. When I add up, I'm going to have plus 5x. It still didn't work. And the 2 of them could both be negative, negative. Why? Because I have a positive number here. So if I solve this one, yeah, I'll get that. And when I add up, I'm going to have minus 5x. So this is what that's going to work. So I'm going to be replacing this with this minus 2 and minus 3x. So right here, I will have 2 minus 2x minus 3x plus 3x squared. That's what I'm going to have there. So I have 3 into this part. Something is common, and that is 2. Use it to divide this, I got 1. To divide the other one, I got x. This negative is common. 3 is also common. X is also common. Do you see that? First sign is common. I told you that. 3 is common. X with lower power is common. Open your bracket. Since I'm sure I can copy this and paste as 1 minus x, like I told you, and you can try to see. You see, it's going to be the same thing. All right, so right here I have 3, and I have this side and this side are the same. So I have 1 minus x, and I have 2 minus 3x left. And that is just my answer. If I dislike, I can remove this one, and I just have 3 into 1 minus x into 2 minus 3x. And that is it. So you must know how to do this. With constant practice, you'll be able to fix this without having to do all of this. All right, let's look at this one. There are 2 unknowns. There are 2 unknowns. And if you look at this first unknown, you see the power is descending. 2, 1, 0. And look at this unknown here. The power is also descending the other way around. So the other way up, we have 2, 1, 0. So they are properly arranged. Now let's begin to work faster now. So let's think. I need to multiply this 1 by this, and that will give me 25. The whole of this multiplied by this, so we have 25. Good, I got 25. And what are the 2 numbers I can multiply to get 25? That when I add, I'm going to get minus 10. So for me to get plus 25, I could say 5 times 5 plus 5 times plus 5, that will give me plus 25. And when I add up, I'm going to have plus 10. That won't fit in. And I can also say minus 5 times minus 5 to still get plus 25. And when I add up minus 5 plus minus 5, I'm going to have minus 10. So that means that at the center here, I'm going to have minus 5dm minus 5dm to be able to get this. So I could just move straight. I have d squared minus 5dm minus 5dm. This replaces this. Then plus 25m squared. So that's why I said with time you should be able to do it without having to write all those long stories. So take it 2 by 2 like that, and let's see if it's going to work. So right here I have d to be common, d with the lower power. So I have d left minus 5m. Minus 5m. The first sign you see here is common. You see 5 is common to all of this. You see m with lower power is common. Alright, so if you are following what I've been teaching you, since you are sure of these factors and you are also sure of what you have brought out here, you can copy and paste. So this is this. If you open the bracket, you see you're going to have exactly the same thing you have up there. So looking at this again, you have d minus 5m to be common on this side. So the other side will now become d minus 5m. We actually have the same thing occurring 2 times. We have the same thing occurring 2 times. So you can write this as d minus 5m squared. D minus 5m squared. Some would say it is d minus 5m twice. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, let's look at this question. There are only 2 terms and there's nothing common. Looking at them, there's nothing common. Nothing can go in 16 and go in 25. There's nothing that can go in A and go in B. So, but there's something you can do right here. This is squared. This one too, there's a number you can square to get 16. Similarly too, there's a number you can square to get 25. So let's introduce those numbers. So we have 4 and A. I can square them. This is the same thing as what I have here right now. And the other part too will be 5B. Everything can be squared. This is now looking like what I showed you before, where we had A squared minus B squared. Can you remember? So it's looking like it. And we did, when you have something like this, in my previous video, I showed you, when you have something like this, this will be A minus B, then A plus B. It can be written like this. If you check my previous videos, you can go and look for it, please. Right, I'm going to introduce exactly the same thing. So this part, I'll treat like my A, and this part, I'll treat like my B. It is called difference of 2 squares. This is square, this is square. This is the difference between them. And this will be written as 4A minus 5B. Okay, I'll write it again and just put plus at the center. So that's the difference of 2 squares. Just 2 lines. I'm done. That's it. If I try to expand this, I'm going to come back here. So you can try to expand and you see your answer is going to be this. Let's look at this question too. Let's look at this question. It also has 2 terms, right? But see, I can't square a number to get this. I can't think of a number I can square to get this. But I know one thing, that 5 can go in 80. So let's use that. So 5 is common. Bring it out. I'll be left with m squared. If you use this to divide this, you see I'm going to have 16 left. 16. Wow. So if you look at what you have up here right now in the bracket, you see this is squared. There's something you can square to get 16. So, and that is 4. So I'm going to have 4 squared. So introduce the same principle, difference of 2 squares. So you have m squared, you have m minus 4 and m plus 4. And that is your answer. So you must be able to know that when you see anything like this and there's a negative there, you can square one part, you can't square the other part. Quickly check. If you can reduce this to a square, then you can use the difference of 2 squares to factorize it. We can also use factorization to simplify. So look at this side. They are multiplying themselves. These numbers too are multiplying themselves. So this is one term and this another term. So you could simply pick what is common here out. That is 29 and put the remaining thing in the bracket. 20, you have 37 here. And you see that when you add this one up, you're going to have 100. So this will give you 29 times 100, which will eventually give you 29 0. So you can also use factorization to simplify. We are to evaluate this by using factorization. You have 17.9 squared minus 12.1 squared. This is difference of two squares. And that will give you 17.9 plus 12.1. The other one will become 17.9 minus 12.1. All you need to do is to punch your calculator and get the values of those. So this one will give me 30, and these two brackets, the sign between them is multiplication. So, and when you multiply that, you have 5.8. So 5.8, when you find the difference is 5.8, and you multiply to get 174. So you can actually use factorization to evaluate when you have difference of two squares. We are asked to find the exact value of x from this question. Let me rewrite it. We have 17x being equal to 375 squared minus 356 squared. It's also difference of two squares. So I have 17x being equal to 375 minus 356, and 375 plus 356. So I have 17x. When I find the difference of this, it's going to give me 19. And when I find the difference of the other one, don't forget this multiplication, I'm going to get, if I find the addition of the other one rather, I'm going to get 731. Trying to check my calculator here. So that my x here now will now be 19 times 731 over 17. So x equals, you punch your calculator, then you discover that this can cut this. So you can cut it 43 times. So that you have 19 times 43. And the final answer will now be 817.
If you enjoyed our teaching, please click like and feel free to share our link with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications of our subsequent videos.